front of house sound engineer for the last 7 years or so. Today I am working at the Empty Bottle in Chicago. It's one of my favorite venues to go to see independent musical acts from all over the world. I love working here. I've worked here since probably 2004. Tonight I will be mixing 3 bands, and they're all local acts. Support your local music acts. At the Empty Bottle we have 2 different kick drum mics that we would use or have the ability to use on any given night. One is a D112 AKG. If the drummer does not have a hole cut into the kick drum head, I would maybe opt to use the D112 because it does have a bit of a high-end presence. If you look at the frequency response, the D112 has pretty flat curve in the high ends. So the D112 again works really well with a closed kick drum head because you can add a little bit of attack with that high frequency response. You get a little bit more of a present sound with that. It's a regular cardioid, it's not a super cardioid, so it picks up a little bit more around the microphone itself. It doesn't have that very narrow pickup pattern. You aren't isolating the kick drum as much, or you're not isolating the source as much with the cardioid. You have a little bit more pickup range around the microphone, around the diaphragm, and you aren't getting as much off-axis colorization with this microphone. I guess I would prefer the D112 on acoustic instruments, so like a cello or a bass. I would go with the D112 because it does have a more cardioid pickup pattern. It's not so dependent on the direction of the sound source. So if you're using a D112 and say you're miking an upright bass with it, if that player moves around or adjusts at all, which is pretty typical of someone playing an instrument like that, you might drop off very quickly, or you might get a lot of off-axis colorization if you were to use the Beta 52. If you're using the D112, you would get a lot more natural sound as the musician or as the sound source maybe changes position a little bit. I know there is a cello tonight. I think I might use the D112 on cello, but there's also a drum set tonight, so I think I'll use at least one of the mics as a kick drum mic.